It was January 25th, 2007, when Shannon Malloy was in the car when a car crash slammed her into the dashboard. Her skin, spinal cord, and other internal organs remained intact, but her skull separated from her spine. The rare condition is known as internal decapitation, and it left her with no control over her head. Shannon's injuries left her with nerve damage that made her eyes cross, and she had difficulty swallowing, but luckily she wasn't paralyzed. Her injuries were different from a broken neck, which usually occurs when vertebrae in the neck are cracked or broken. In this case, her skull had been completely knocked off the top of the spinal column. Surgeons at the Denver Spine Center in Colorado reattached her skull to the top of her spinal column with 5 screws through her neck bones. They then held her head steady by screwing a steel halo around the top of her skull, which was attached to her shoulders by rods. But this was far from an easy task. Every time they tried to screw it into her head, her skull would slip, and her skull slipped off her neck about 5 times during the process. Nearly 4 months after the crash, the halo was removed by surgeons. As well as being internally decapitated, she suffered a fractured skull, bleeding in her brain, and damage to her eye nerves, which has made her cross-eyed. Her throat and air passage were also severely damaged, so she has to be fed by a tube into her stomach, and can only speak in short bursts between huge gasps for breath. Although a full recovery is near impossible, it's a miracle that Shannon survived the accident. Due to this story being almost 20 years old, updates to her story are hard to find, and it's unknown just how much progress she was able to make.